Happy Friday. How are you doing?
Happy Friday, doing great. How about you?
Yeah? Oh man, I am ready for the weekend.
You are?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's the end of a long week, and yeah, definitely ready to sleep in a little bit. That's my objective this weekend is to not wake up before 6:30 any day this weekend.
Wait a minute. You wake up 6:30 a.m. in the morning?
No, I want to sleep in at least until 6:30 every day this weekend.
Yeah. That means usually during the week you do less. You wake up earlier than 6:30 or
Oh
6.
yeah, between 5 and 6 most days.
Why is that early? You don't have a crying baby yet? Just enjoy your
Not
time?
yet.
Yeah.
Well, I like to go get a little bit of a workout before I walk the dog, and then I hop on and I start working.
Wow. And then what
So
time do you go to bed in the evening usually? I
like
hope
10.
10.
Yeah. How about you? What's your schedule?
I go like 11:30, pretty late. But then I sleep
That I
till,
mean, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but I sleep till 8 a.m. until the little one wakes me up and saying like, hey, I need some milk. Let's play. Let's do something.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I've slept in until 8 o'clock since college.
Well, it's really
Yeah.
convenient. I kind of chose this schedule because I work in Pacific time zone. So I live in
Hmm.
Eastern time zone, but I work in Pacific, which is,
Yeah.
gives me a little bit more flexibility in the morning.
Yeah. I I could definitely see doing that. We tried to do that during COVID when we moved out here to like adjust to that, but we couldn't do it. We could not get ourselves on that schedule.
Okay, well, that means you're a morning
Yeah,
person more.
yeah, I definitely
I
am.
agree.
By about noon, all the best thought is done for my day.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm curious, what do you think of Dan?
So unfortunately, I missed the beginning of the
Oh
session
no.
because I was in the work-related meeting.
How
Um,
dare you actually go make an
I
income?
know, but I couldn't cancel that. I would listen to the recording later on.
Okay.
I definitely like what he told, he seems to be a pretty knowledgeable person.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, there is an interesting thing happening in my head because when we had this basic the coaching program with you, the phrases that you told at the beginning, it's like a message from I don't know, Jedi Master Yoda or something. And I remember you were saying, don't go to the multifamily because it has XYZ, it has more vacancy. It like there are certain criteria. It doesn't appreciate that much, and it's more complex. Maybe start with single family. It's basically the better quality of tenants, and especially if they're worse neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this week, I receive another communication saying like, oh, multifamily is good. And it's happening through different channels, you know?
Oh,
And I'm like, for some reason, I don't trust this information because that first message was so strong from you. Whatever you told at the beginning, it's like, it's like a
it
Bible,
created an
Bible for
impression.
exactly. It's like a Bible. No, neutral that way. I'm
Yeah.
not going to go this
Well,
way.
I do want to clarify when I was talking about that, I was talking about the small multifamily, like the 2 to 4 unit. Um, I think that in the 2 to 4 unit, you do tend to get the lower. Actually, in any multifamily, you do tend to get a lower quality of tenant. That just it is generally the case because it's somebody who's looking for a cheaper price and is looking for to give up their privacy in order to get that. Now, I tend to see that you get the worst of both in the small multifamily. You don't get any privacy and you don't get any amenities in a duplex or a triplex. When you're getting up into the larger units, you get some serious economies of scale that can make it worthwhile. So to be clear, I have nothing against the larger multifamilies. I'm not a fan of the small multifamilies personally, having owned and still owning quite a few of them.
Yeah. So you're saying it would make sense if it's more than 5 units or
I
six
would say
units,
even more than
even more
I
than
would
that.
say you got to get up to probably And again, I haven't
15?
really, yeah, I was gonna say 15 to 20 is
15 to
kind of
20.
where it becomes something a little bit different. And you start to really benefit from those economies of scale.
Got it.
Yeah. But and he's doing both. You can see he's definitely not giving up
Yeah.
on either of them. So yeah, definitely definitely lots of options that exist out there. All right. Well, oh, we got Chloe here. We've got Kirby, Kurby.
Yeah,
Never seen it spelled that way before.
it's a shortened version of my full name.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, my full name is a little harder to pronounce, so
Gotcha. Okay. Very
yeah.
cool. Nice. So what's going on?
Hold on, let me turn on my video. Yeah, so nice to meet you, first of all.
Yeah, great to meet you.
Yeah. So actually you were just talking about something that I was trying to be interested in. Maybe just to explain a little bit about me. So I'm 23 years old. And
Nice.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I recently graduated college in last May. And I got a job in software engineering, and I work for a company in San Francisco. So now I moved from where I live, like Virginia, to San Francisco. And it's been a pretty different experience, I'm not gonna lie. But like, I think what I've gotten just from like starting working and stuff is like, I don't want to code for the rest of my life. Like, I don't want to, I can't see myself doing that for like, I honestly can't even see myself doing it for like 15 years, to be honest. I mean, I like coding, but it's just not something I just want to do for a long time. So that's how I like got interested into real estate and stuff like that. And so obviously, like, since I'm in the Bay Area, like everything is just completely out the window in terms of like investing in my local like area. And so I was looking at outside markets. Indianapolis caught my eye, and I was actually thinking about doing a multifamily, but you were just talking about how you weren't a fan of it.
Small multifamily, like 2 to 5
yeah.
unit, 2 to 4 unit. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of doing. So 2 to 4, you weren't a fan of?
No, no, and kind of what I told Mila way back when is that when you, this is a bad question for a 23-year-old for me to ask it, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you live in a duplex, triplex, fourplex?
Like right now?
Yeah.
Oh no, I live in a small studio. Yeah.
Okay, great. And do any of your friends or family live in a duplex, triplex, fourplex?
No.
Even back home in Virginia, I'm willing to even give you Virginia. No?
No.
What does that tell you?
I guess people don't like living in multifamilies.
They don't like living in those kinds of multifamilies. I bet in that studio, you're optimizing for one of a couple of things, either price or you're optimizing for having amenities at that price. When you're living in a duplex, triplex, fourplex, essentially what you're getting is somebody who's willing to give up their privacy in exchange for in exchange for just a price. There's no amenities that you get in those smaller units. If you live in a larger complex, you tend to get those amenities. And then as an operator, you tend to get economies of scale, but you don't tend to get that in the smaller places. So if you buy a B-class asset, you're going to get C-class tenants in those smaller multifamilies. So for those reasons, I'm just not a fan. And to be clear, I own a bunch of them. And I'm looking to offload as many of them as I possibly can because I just don't want to deal with the lower end tenants anymore. It looks better on paper, but in life, it doesn't actually play out that way.
Okay. So you're more of a fan of just investing in single family homes?
Yes, that's generally my preference. It's funny, my wife is deciding to trash talk me from the other room. I just got a text from her. She said, I lived in a triplex. I'm an A-class tenant. Thank you very much. Let me tell you, that was a C-class of asset. We were not A-class tenants at that point. We were, 20, 25. Actually, she might have been 23 at the time. She might have been your age, and we got the hell out of there as fast as we could. So, yeah.
I was living in fourplex for 5 years. and
Yeah.
paying 2,700 in the Bay Area for that.
Yeah. So you were willing to give up your
condition-
privacy.
Without
Yeah.
conditioner in a very, very
Yeah.
old house.
Wow. No.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll forget about it.
We've got Kirby, just so you're aware, here on the call, I happen to know just about actually, I know all the people here pretty darn well. Mila here actually used to live in the Bay Area. Yi and Chloe both live in the Bay Area. So both of them are very familiar with kind of what you're dealing with. And all of them are looking to kind of get on a similar path as you, which is get the heck out of that W-2 before, before they have to retire at, 65, taking mandatory withdrawals from Social Security.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're familiar as well, but like there's like a whole like tech layoff scene going on right now, right? So like a lot of people are getting laid off just because of like what's happening with the economy and stuff. And so that's something that's like really honestly like pushed me to get away from that, because like I don't ever want to feel like I'm on someone else's like I guess I don't want to feel like I can just be fired at whim,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Control your destiny. So, I think everybody here has heard this story other than you, but maybe not. What made me start investing was I was working at Razor way back 2016. And I was told that if I didn't do something that was illegal, they were going to find somebody who would. And that's when I decided that I was going to start investing in real estate. That's when I began investing from Southern California out here in Indianapolis and grew it from there. So yeah, totally respect that, totally understand that. And don't know if I predicted the tech layoffs, but sure as heck got the heck out of Meta right in time. So
yeah,
can't complain. How are you doing? You're back in the swing of things now, aren't you?
Yeah, doing well. I just want to hop on the call. I made an offer this morning, and so just want to let you know. Yeah,
That's awesome. Where is it?
Noblesville.
Oh, I love Noblesville.
Yeah. And
It's an awesome area.
Yeah, I thought it's going to I think it's an A class. It's even though it's kind of like in the downtown area, so it's kind of A minus, but it's below 200K. So I think, that's it's a 3-1. We'll see like how it goes. I can tell from the pictures, but I'm like just like what you said, like just making offers and just see what's going on. What is very exciting this morning is my agent called a listing agent, and they said so this house has been on market only for 5 days, but they haven't received any offer yet. So that makes us a little bit more competitive to be the first one submitting offer.
Gotcha. That's awesome. That I'm really, really happy to hear that. I'll tell you, Noblesville, the worst Noblesville gets is like B plus A minus. And then I would say the majority of it is up in that A minus to A area. I wouldn't say any part of Noblesville gets it into like the A plus area, but I would say B plus to A is the range that Noblesville can run. And I actually really like that downtown area a lot. Like the Old Town. We actually are doing a flip on 11th Street right there by downtown Noblesville, and it's a really, really cool area. Yeah. So congratulations. Really, really happy for you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there were houses under $200,000 in Hamilton County. Cool. How about you, Chloe? What's going on in your world?
I'm still doing a lot of deal analysis recently,
Okay.
but that's it.
Fantastic. Nice.
I have a question for those. Yeah, how do you decide whether you want to do finance upfront or you buy it cash and then do refinance afterwards? Like, how do you differentiate, like when you finance a deal?
Well, I think it really depends on what the strategy is. one, if you're looking to put a lot of offers in and get a particularly aggressive price, then the capped offers are huge. That is what can really give you an opportunity to be more competitive. You're going to go cash and then refi after the fact. Now, if you're taking a slightly different approach and you are going to be doing some type of value add, then you kind of need to make up your mind on the front end. Are you going to finance it, do the work and then refi it? Or are you going to buy it cash, do the work and then refi it? So it really depends on what your strategy is in that particular situation. And how much cash you have to play with.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of optimizing cash flows. Now, there are a lot of things that go into the consideration. One is delayed financing contingency. Gives you an opportunity to essentially not have to deal with the seasoning period, which now actually looks like it's going to be closer to a year instead of 6 months like it was before.
Oh.
So Fannie Freddie, I guess, is trying to reduce the number of refinances. Not that there are a lot of them out there right now, given current interest rates, but there are a lot of things to consider. Closing costs are another consideration. So going through multiple refinances or multiple financing is pretty prohibitive from a costing perspective.
Yeah. Sometimes I just
what is triggering that question?
Yeah, for this particular deal, I know like it's probably too early because the seller hasn't accepted, but I will just start to think about it given the shape of the house.
What kind of offer did you make? Was it a
made
cash or was it a finance offer?
I made a finance offer.
Okay. Well, yeah, you can always go from a finance to cash. That's easy. Going the other direction is where problems occur. What's the condition of the home? Do you know? Does it need work?
Yes, I think it needs some work to rent ready. Do you want to see the house?
Yeah. Yeah, so that I can go and swoop you. I'm going to try and steal your deal.
Let me see. Yeah, it's 1811 Cherry Street.
Okay. Or do you want to shoot a screen share?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah, so this is the deal.
It's a great looking little house.
And it's
Do you get
How
the
much
couch?
it's rented?
I think it's around 1,500.
It's a cute little house.
Yeah, a little one. I think they may be, I can't tell, but this might be the third bedroom, which is relatively small. The location is, how do I see the location? Somewhere here.
Gotcha. So right at the kind of edge of 38 and 37. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's already got central air, built in 1978, so relatively new construction. Can you open up the photos of the kitchen? I just kind of want to see the condition of the cabinets. Yeah, I mean, the cabinets look fine. I probably don't even touch them. The only thing I probably do to this house, given that it's pretty ugly, is I probably replace the flooring.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe countertops as well, and maybe paint, but like I can't tell the condition of the paint, but it doesn't look terrible by any means.
Yeah, I think it's a very like minor rehab. I think I can control the budget to under 10K.
Yeah. 1,100 square feet. Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, if that's the case, I guess I can do finance upfront because there's not so much work going
Yeah.
into,
So
yeah.
what'd you offer?
I think I offer actually like my agent for the price. So it's at I think 180.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. How did the deal analyze out?
So this is my deal analysis for this one. So 180, 10K, rehab, closing cost 4K, and then monthly rent 1,500. And then I think so property tax, things like that. And then the ROI is pretty good.
Yeah, because you get a little bit of that increase based on
Yeah.
but based on doing the flooring repair and everything like that, flooring and potentially countertops. Yeah, I mean, all of this seems largely in line with what I would expect. I think from an estimate perspective, we're within spitting distance here. Yeah, I mean, seems pretty darn solid. I would say your opportunity is to potential if you wanted to, if cash flow was what you were aiming for, I would potentially look um to look at short-term rental, given that it is close to downtown Noblesville, which is kind of like Old Town Noblesville.
Yeah.
It might actually do well as a short-term rental potentially.
Yeah, that's a good strategy.
If you wanted to. But again, if you don't and you just want easy, like this place, you would have to invest significantly more to make it short-term rental ready, but it super cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd live there. I've lived in way worse than that before.
Do you know how for this particular I know you I remember you mentioned like adding a second bathroom is very good in terms of ROI.
Yeah.
But how did you know like whether some property I can add a bathroom?
You have to have a contractor walk it. You can't
Okay.
tell based on photos. It's impossible.
Okay.
But having your contractor walk it and say, hey, can you find me a bathroom? That's the question to ask.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
cost
because a
to-
lot of times you have to actually unless you want to do some major renovations, you have to butt it up against another wall with plumbing. So you're going to want to butt it up against another bathroom. You're going to want to butt it up against a kitchen, something that already has plumbing coming through it to save you some money.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm never smart enough to find it just based on photos.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I couldn't do that either. Yeah, but
Gotcha.
adding a second bathroom, you would. What is your kind of criteria, like decision tree in terms of like,
Yeah.
okay, this one I would add, the other one I wouldn't add.
Yeah. Well, so the problem that you're going to face here is that you're financing it on the front end. And so you would have to refinance it to really get the value. And again, you'd have to look at the comps. If, for instance, you look at it in a 3-2, you think that a 3-1 fixed up is worth 200. A 3-2 is worth, let's say, 220. Again, for the sake of conversation. Generally speaking, I assume a new bathroom is going to cost me $10,000 to $12,000. So if I can go invest $10,000 to $12,000 and get $20,000 of incremental value, that's an easy decision every single time and twice on Sunday. And the other thing I would take a look at is, all right, so it's going to rent for $1,500, for instance, as a long-term rental. How much extra rent do I get by doing that? So that's essentially the decision tree I do is how fast can I get that capital back?
I see. That makes sense.
To go do it.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
good
And so
advice.
I would literally just plug it in. If he tells you, hey, it's $10,000 just to fix it up, or it's $20,000 to add the bathroom, but it changes the ARV to like, let's go back to your equation here or your screen real quick. Excel.
Yes.
All right. So again, for the sake of conversation, let's say that the rehab cost goes up to $20,000. All right. And let's say the ARV goes up to 220. You get a 31% return on your money. Oh, and let's also say the rent changes to 1,600 instead. Man, looks like a pretty good deal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I generally find that if you find that second bathroom, it tends to more than pay for itself in terms of ROI. The difference here is that the cash invested is going to be up. It's going to be up substantially. It's going to be another $10,000 higher because you're
Right.
not planning a refinance.
Okay, I'll think about that and just compare this spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I have been using this like buy and hold a lot. I didn't use the other one that much.
The
but
value
now-
add.
Right, the value add. I can just compare those two. Thank
Yeah,
you, Nick.
the value adds are a really good approach when you're looking to do that refinance on the back end.
Yeah.
Or sell it as a flip.
Totally. That's
Yeah.
good. Thanks.
So Kirby, how do we help you get started in doing the same thing that Chloe Yi and Mila are doing here?
Wait, so I'm curious, is there a catch to any of this? Like, so do you just do this just to help people out?
There is a
I
coaching
mean, this-
program. I'm a
This call right
testimony.
here. Yeah. Well, hang tight. This call right here is totally for free. I just help people out. Like I do it once every 2 weeks. I just hop on for an hour and answer any questions people have. If people want additional help and want more coaching, where I have a 6-month program that I help people go from I'm interested in real estate investing to I'm a badass real estate investor, then that is a paid program. But yeah, I just hop on here and help anyone out who happens to hop on.
Dang, that's actually really weird. Like that's insane. Like I feel like a lot of people like, or like from what I've been doing, like in my research, like the past like 3-4 months, like there's always like a paywall, like for everything. And so like even in like some Bay Area like real estate groups, like you have to pay like a bunch of money up front just to even be in the group. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, I'm not gonna lie. My time, I do value it highly, and so that's why I do have a paid coaching program that has a lot more one-on-one attention. But like, we've got Mila here, who's a recent graduate. We've got Yi and Chloe here, who are midway through the program right now and are making offers. Yeah, overall, my goal is to help a bunch of people
Okay.
to do exactly what we've done. And I think the thing I've told each and every one of the people that's gone through my program is there's nothing I teach that's proprietary.
Right.
You can learn all this stuff now. It might not be, as easily digested. It might not be, there's going to be so much information. What I tend to do is I'm the filter for people and give them the actionable next step and the curriculum to go forward.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually really cool. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so just to give you like a little bit even more specific about my situation. So like, I really just like the Indianapolis market just because I know it's like a low barrier to entry compared to other markets. And I know that in terms of appreciation, it does well, right? As well as like it's also like a cash flowing area. I guess for me, like my priority right now is like since I am young, like I don't want to like I guess I want a cash flow. That's like my main thing. Like I want a cash flow. So I've saved a good amount of money up. I'm not sure if it's enough for Indianapolis. Maybe can I tell you that?
Yeah, feel free.
Yeah. So I saved up around 50,000. And
That's enough for Noblesville.
oh wait, what happened?
That's enough for Noblesville.
Oh, okay. But like I said, my main priority is like I don't want to like I've heard a bunch of like scary tenant stories, so I want to like I want to find neighborhoods where I can cash flow the most and not I guess like C lower B class areas where I can cash flow the most and not guess have to deal with bad tenants or anything like that, or mitigate or lower the amount of risk I have in getting a bad tenant. So do you know
Yeah.
what neighborhoods?
So you've literally just gotten into the crux of a lot of people's decision making, and it's really hard.
Yeah.
There's two metrics that you can look at. There's ROI and there's ROTI. ROI is the return on your investment. It's pretty easy to calculate. It's cash flow plus depreciation plus loan pay down plus inflation hedging plus tax benefits, all divided by the amount of capital invested. Later. ROTI is a little bit different. It's where you take that ROI equation and then you divide that by the number of hours you're investing. If you go and invest in crappy areas, D and C class areas, the ROI is going to be really good, but the ROTI is going to be really shitty. You're going to be investing a lot of time and heartache and headache into those crappy tenants. You go and you get the slightly nicer ones, the ones that are less of a pain in the butt, those tenants that are less of a pain in the butt. Generally speaking, your ROI is not as high, but your ROTI is a lot higher. So really that's kind of the trade-off that a lot of people make. What I'll tell you is that with today's interest rates, cash flow, almost impossible, unless you're buying crap units, crappy tenants. Neutral cash flow is a win in today's market, and anybody who's calculating it differently is lying. They're BSing their numbers, or they don't actually understand their numbers. So in halfway decent neighborhoods, that the kinds of neighborhoods I would let my wife walk around in. So I think it's going to be tough for you to kind of hit both of those things that you're saying, if you're being honest about your numbers. Like I don't know if you saw, or Yi, pardon me, was just showing a calculator where there were a lot of accruals for things to go wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's tough. I think I think you have enough capital to do it. I think at 23 years old, you're actually thinking about the wrong thing if you're thinking about cash flow. I actually think that's totally the wrong approach.
So,
what you need to be what?
You think so? Yeah.
I do because cash flow deals don't tend to appreciate all that well. What you need to be focusing on is net worth, and getting as much under your control that doesn't cost you more. Basically, don't go lose money, don't go lose cash flow on a monthly basis, but just get as close to even as humanly possible so that you're not more tied to your job the day after you buy it than you were the day before. So have it be, slightly positive to neutral, because it's ridiculously easy to convert equity into cash flow. It's really hard to build equity with cash flow. And so go increase your net worth as much as humanly possible. Let me give you a quick, exercise that a lot of people tend to understand. If I own 10 houses, all of them are 50% paid off, without going and just jacking up my rents on all the units, what's the quickest way to increase my cash flow?
Wait, if you own 10 houses and all of them are 50%.
All of them are 50%. Yeah, 50% paid off. What's the quickest way to increase my cash flow?
Sell them, right?
Sell half of them and then pay off the other half.
Oh,
your cash flow goes to the roof because you have all that equity. You essentially eliminate all the mortgage on those suckers, and then you're just getting straight cash flow net of all the expenses on the property. So your objective should be to get your net worth as big as humanly possible. Go and buy properties, let them appreciate over time, try and minimize the amount of capital you have in properties, try to go and do value add opportunities on properties to get that net worth as big as you possibly can, so that in 10 years, when you decide, hey, you know what, I can't stand being a coder for another day, then you convert to cash flow.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I guess it's kind of hard to what do you call it? Since my income is at its lowest right now, compared to my entire career, I guess it's hard for me to.
We hope so.
Yeah, I guess it's hard for me to see how I'm gonna be able to buy and hold in terms of like expenses and stuff. Cause like when you do
What do you
buy
mean?
for, like when you do buy for appreciation, right? Like you're gonna be you're gonna.
I didn't say buy for appreciation. I
Oh.
said buy, buy houses that are likely to appreciate, but that are at least cash flow neutral. Because
okay.
at that point, inflation's running at what, 9% a year right now. Now, I don't think we project that going forward. So 2 to 3% is generally what I like to project moving forward for rent and values of properties appreciating. I would rather, I think that's more likely to happen in nicer units than crappier units. But no, I'm not going and buying in the Bay Area where it's all just, hope and a prayer that what's the greater fool theory, that some fool is going to be willing to pay more in the future than you are today. And so, yeah, go invest in things that are cash flow, neutral to slightly positive over time. You have a fixed rate mortgage, that return is going to increase every single year as you re-up the lease. Your cash flow is going to increase because you will raise the rent, but your expenses will stay pretty darn stable over that period. So your cash flow will continue to improve over that time. You're going to get loan pay down of, on average, over the course of 30 years, 1/360th of the value of that loan every single month. The place will appreciate. You're going to get more cash flow. You're going to get the tax benefits associated with it, and then the inflation hedge. So as inflation's running, let's say 3% moving forward, which I think we've seen it be slightly more than that. You're going to, you get a loan at 6%, which means that half of your interest rate is just being paid based on inflation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. So you're saying like not to really focus on like what's going to give me the quickest return now, but rather just focus on something where like I don't necessarily have to pay too much out of pocket or maybe nothing out of pocket, but still appreciate in like 10 years so that.
Yeah, and grow. And and I'm saying focus on good areas. If they cash flow, fantastic, all the better. They've got great tenants. But I wouldn't have cash flow, like significant positive cash flow, be your objective today. Because if you will never buy a house in today's market. And then once interest rates drop, then it's going to get too competitive and they're going to get too expensive, and then cash flows are going to go away again. Like all these people that have been telling me for years, hey, I'm just going to wait for the crash to go by. Now they're like, well, interest rates are so high. The other thing you can think about is, interest rates might be at 6% today. If they ever get back down to 3%, 4%, just go refi those suckers and your cash flow goes through the roof.
I'm not familiar with refi. What is that? Refinance, right? So can you explain that?
So you essentially just go say to the bank, hey, I would like a new loan, replace my existing loan, and with today's rates.
Oh, okay.
There's a book you need to read, bud. It's called Set for Life. It's by a guy named Scott Trench. I actually think you would really benefit from that. I wish I would have read that at 23 years old.
Set for Life.
Yeah.
All right, I'll write that down. Set for Life, Dominate Life, Money, and the American Dream.
That sounds about right. Is it by Scott Trench?
Yeah, by Scott Trench, yeah.
Yeah, he's a really smart guy. I don't agree with everything in the book, but it's a really good foundational book to understand kind of those 5 wealth drivers, the value of interest rates and refinances and things like that.
Okay. All right.
I think that's my most gifted book I've ever, I gave that to all of the kids in my life that are going to college and graduating college and all that stuff. I'm like, read this, please. And none of them ever do, but I've gifted it so many times.
I'll read it.
Yeah. Nice. It's a great audiobook too.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Lauren just said something that I think is so insightful. I wish I would have invested $50,000 at 23. Hell, me too, man. Like, Jesus Christ. I was an idiot at 23. Still an idiot, but less so.
Yeah, Kirby, I think that's really awesome. Hi, I'm Lauren. I work for Nick, so I just hop on these things, but I'm usually a silent partner. But I did text him and say, wow, I wish I would have done that at 23.
Thanks.
So it's awesome that you're doing it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll also say one of the coolest things that Lauren did is since coming to work with our team, she actually has begun investing herself. She did a house hack. She's, Airbnb part of her house. She's going to be, now she has a superpower in that her husband is in the military, so he gets the best loans out there in the world. So whenever they move, they're going to be able to buy houses with very little out of pocket. And so she's going to be my boss here in almost no time.
It's not true. But yeah. So we used the VA loan to purchase our property. We live in Manhattan, Kansas. That's not the property I'm currently in. I'm in North Carolina with my family right now. But and we renovated the basement. So while we live there, we are house hacking and renting it out on weekends through Airbnb. And then we'll move in June, and we will be cash flow positive just because Manhattan, Kansas has seen a huge rise in rents, and we're walking distance to City Park, restaurants, the K-State, Kansas State University. So we'll see cash flow positive, but the next couple of markets that we should be in, we probably won't see cash flow positive, but we're still relatively young. My husband has a contract for his job, so he can't just get out of it. So we know that we'll have his capital for a while so that we can continue investing and not necessarily worry about the cash flow. So
That's
awesome. Nick has made his, I feel like I should be paying him, but I shouldn't say that either.
No, God, no.
But no, so yeah, I would definitely take advantage of these office hours for sure. And then if you are thinking about potentially wanting more, we can show you some of the other things that we do. We have like a membership that's $150 a month, and you get access to exclusive office hours. You get access to Construction Corner, where we talk about rehabs, and then we have Nick's Picks, where we talk to like professionals. Today we just had a multifamily investor on.
That was a fun one.
That was a fun one. We have Brett's Deal Dives, where that calculator that you saw you pull up, we go through multiple of those with everybody looking, and you can get feedback on that. And that's just like a small step into like what we do, but that's like, I would say, the door opening. And then we do have the full-fledged like 6-month course that Mila and Chloe and you did, we're going through. So there's just lots of options if you think, you want to get your feet wet a little bit and want a little bit more direction too.
Yeah, you hit the paywall. This is the extent of the paywall. Every other week is the extent of the freebies.
Yep. Yeah, and it's worked out really well. We've met some really awesome people through this public office hours, so I don't see it going away anytime soon. So you do have it for every 2 weeks if you want to hop back on and talk more.
Yeah.
We'd love to have
if
you.
I wasn't a little hungover, usually this is when I'm drinking some bourbon here behind me, but I might have overdone it a little last night.
No, I really appreciate you guys holding these office hours. Thank you. So
Yeah, absolutely. And let us know what we can do to be helpful. Like I said, I wish I would have been doing what you're thinking about doing at 23. Can't imagine where I'd be today if that was the case.
when did you start?
27.
So okay.
Yeah.
Do you like, I guess, like, what are things that you like wish that you could have, I guess, besides starting earlier, like what are things that you wish or I should look out for as I'm starting, like, sort of, so.
That's an interesting question. I mean, like, real estate's a really forgiving investment vehicle in the grand scheme of things. Like, over the course of 30 years, almost all investments are going to make sense. There are just better investments than others. Man, I'm just thinking about some of the mistakes I've made over the years. Overall, just make sure you've got a good team and trust but verify. Don't trust anybody blindly. That, I would say, those are the biggest mistakes I made, is that I trusted a couple people blindly and it cost me a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say that's kind of the big one. How about you, Mila? Any advice for somebody getting started at 23?
Start earlier. I'm 37. I regret that I did not start earlier at 23. I could save a lot more and I could earn a lot more. And financial independence is kind of a dream for everyone, especially if you don't like your work or you expected something else. And I kind of feel your pain, you probably started really hard at school to be, a good software engineer, to be, A+, the best kid, and I cannot imagine like how desperate might be people in the situation where big tech companies just laying off thousands, and you're thinking like, why did I spend so much time working for XYZ company? I missed so many meaningful meetings with your family, with your loved ones, right? And they just deactivated your device in a second. And we probably need to think of something really like investing in yourself, and real estate seems to be inspiring after knowing Nick's, experience, and especially getting access to his network and connections. By the way, Nick, I'm connecting with John finally to set up my LLC. I was
Fantastic.
I was late, and I'm thinking like, why I didn't do it earlier? In any case, hoping to reconnect with him. Started working with Will.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really great. Fingers crossed. So yeah, working with great.
I thought of one other thing that that he should probably think about too, and I think all of us fall into the trap at some point. But don't let your lifestyle inflate as your income does. If you're able, like the more your lifestyle inflates, the more you're going to need to replace it. Invest all those dollars, all those extra dollars, instead of going and upgrading from a studio to a 2-bedroom. Decide to invest that extra on a monthly basis into whatever your investment strategy is going to be. And that'll just compound in such an incredible way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely don't buy. I literally don't buy. I never buy anything. I don't really go out. Kind of already tired of doing that stuff. Plus the bars close early in SF. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy with like layoffs and stuff like that. Like I work for Pinterest, and they actually just did layoffs yesterday. They laid off like 200 people, and I'm like, dang, that could have easily been me. So it's kind of scary.
Yeah. Actually, you're the cheap one right now. They're going to keep you.
Yeah.
You're the cheapest software engineer they have right now, right? Graduated out of college.
Yeah, new grad.
Yeah. Your output per dollar is high.
That's exactly what my manager said too. Like exactly what you just said. He said like you don't have to worry about it. He said you don't have to worry about it because like you're just kind of like a guinea pig. I mean, like you're just a guinea pig.
You're a rounding error.
Yeah.
Wow, that is the meanest thing, and also the most honest thing I've ever heard a manager say in a situation like that.
Yeah, I mean, we're really really casual with each other. So like I'm comfortable with him saying that we just talk about stuff like that all the time. So yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. What else is going on, guys? We've got 12
Chloe has her
minutes here
hand raised.
before I hang up on all of you.
Chloe has
Oh.
her hand raised.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chloe.
I just finished the deal analysis and would like to get your idea. Do you know the Lebanon area? Let me share my
The what?
screen. I don't really know the city might called Lebanon. Let me just share my
Lebanon?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I have never invested out there. It's kind of outside the loop, pretty far.
Yeah.
Nick, that's where Victor is.
Yeah, so I'm analyzing like
Gotcha. Oh, the third property, the one from the KW group.
Yes, that's in Lebanon.
Yeah.
okay, let me share my screen. Let me see. Yeah, so can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this one from both sheet. So basically there's a
Okay.
one in Lebanon. It's kind of like far away. It's like a small city near Indiana. And
Yeah.
it's a single family, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom. The general condition looks good. I think it just needs like the flooring.
Can you wait, hang tight. Can you go back to the dining room?
Dining room, yeah. This.
I had that table. I've had that table twice in my life. That's an IKEA table that I think they've discontinued like 20 years ago.
Yes.
Like that literally was the most valuable thing I owned when I was Kirby's age. Perfect. All right, we can keep going now.
Yeah, I think I have a similar table from IKEA as well. In the college time. Yeah. So basically,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so everything is in okay condition, fair condition, maybe just repaint. And
It's
maybe
old, but it looks fine. Like, yeah, there's not a whole lot of value add opportunity, I wouldn't say.
yeah, exactly. Maybe.
So do you know what that is, Chloe?
So what do you mean?
No, go back one.
This one?
Do you know what that is?
No.
Most people from California have no idea what those things are. I didn't before I moved out here. That's a water softener. And so essentially that big part on the right, you put big salt pellets in there, and it feeds through and it softens the water, gets rid of the stuff in the actual water, makes it not like stick to your skin. This place looks fine. It's a weird that it's sitting in the middle of a bathroom. I've never seen that before. So you probably want to like find a way to build a little closet out around it if you can, or something like that. But overall, that bathroom is where there's some opportunity.
Yeah, so maybe tear down this and build a shower and move it around.
That's well, so you've got that's where the washer and dryer goes, right there next to that
I see.
that vanity.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is almost like a utility closet that they converted into a bathroom.
Yeah. No wonder.
Cool. All right, keep going.
Yeah, so basically this is 8. And I did a quick analysis of according to the asking price is this, and maybe offer this because I saw it has a 5,000 cut right now, so maybe around this number. And also did a quick rehab calculation is around this number.
What did you calculate? Can we go into the rehab? What did you think needed to be done there?
The renovation. So square footage is not too big. So basically paint the cabinets in the kitchen, but they also break it down a lot of stuff from the kitchen stuff. So I'm more clear on what I need to do. So maybe not kitchen appliance, but yeah, for bathroom, I'm like a change vanity, new faucet, very light change, and the new mainly is the new flooring, interior doors, and interior paint, and also exterior doors and some unexpected fees. Because it's livable, so I'm assuming those stuff you don't. It doesn't.
So your management fee is probably not going to be 3,500 given the price. Like management fee tends to be about 10% of the value of the rehab.
Okay, 10%. Okay, I'll.
Well, that's going to be circular logic. It's not going to go.
Makes sense. Yeah, I will.
So it's going to be about 2,000. Let's go about 2,000. That's going to be about your number.
Okay. Yeah, 2,000. Yeah. Okay. So let me just change here.
Okay. Beautiful. I think that might be a little high, but yeah, I think we're largely aligned. You did new flooring throughout, didn't you?
Yeah, I include the new flooring.
I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at it, it looked like all that flooring was pretty new. Like they had coverings down to protect what looked like pretty new carpet. So I actually don't know. And like the flooring looks pretty good to me.
Yeah.
This is not, Chloe, I'm looking at this. This isn't a value add opportunity. This is a buy and hold. And like I really don't think you need to do anything to this house to rent it out.
I see, because it says like a rehab cosmetic from boys like this number, so I'm like a little bit confused where it comes from. So I'm trying to put something to match this number. Yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe
I mean, I don't. I don't know if you're going to get the money back on the back end with an ARV.
makes sense.
Do
Okay.
you have comps that justify the 210 ARV there?
Yeah, let me see. I think I did look at the this is just rent sold. So in this area, it does have a few good slightly
That place
larger.
is a lot bigger though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And also like this one is similar, bigger, a little bit bigger, but the price is high. So maybe I don't, under the condition is not that good. It's okay, it's fair.
Yeah, but it has a hot tub. Come on. The hot tub doesn't do it for you? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. That's not actually a super big selling point. It's got a nice outdoor area.
The yard
They've
looks
clearly
nice.
spent their money on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah. The yard looks so good, but
But
yeah.
the inside is not super nice.
Yeah.
This house seems a little bit more modern.
Yeah. But the price is on, it also has like a 2 whole bathroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, but it's a little bit.
See, I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't see you getting the money out on this one to make it worthwhile.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah.
This is a buy and hold. Looking at it, it's the problem with it is, can you actually go back to the listing photos of it?
Yeah. Listing photos. Let me see, where is it?
It's fine if you don't. If you can't, what I'll say is the house is too nice to do the kind of work to it that would be required to get return on your capital. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, if I was just trying to buy a rental that I wasn't looking to do any value add, this would be perfect.
I see. Okay.
And in another 10 years and people living there, I probably look to do a major rehab on it, but it's not in bad enough shape to do the kind of rehab that would vastly change the price.
Yeah, makes sense. So what do you think about this area in general, this city?
I don't know anything about Lebanon, really. It's a ways out there. So I can't speak intelligently to it. I live in Carmel, so I'm not that far. But yeah, I don't know anybody that lives in Lebanon, if that gives you an idea.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't associate with people from Lebanon. Cool. All right. Well, any other questions? I've got 2 minutes here before I hop off and I go make some pulled pork nachos.
Sounds tasty. You cook yourself?
Of course I cook. I do most of the cooking in this household.
No, are you kidding me? Serious?
No, I'm totally serious. You can ask Diane. She actually cooked dinner last night. It doesn't happen much, but she did cook dinner last night. I'll give her a lot of credit.
He does usually, because I see it on his calendar that it says cook Diane dinner.
Okay, you didn't
I need to
brag
start
Feed the
about
baby.
it
Calendar
earlier.
too.
You didn't brag about it earlier. Now we know.
Yeah. Put it on what calendar, Lauren?
I said I need to put it on Dean's calendar.
Oh, yeah, to cook you dinner? Heck yeah, you should.
We
Do you control
usually
his
split
calendar
it,
too?
but usually split it, but I typically make better meals. So then he'll start the whole, you should keep cooking because you make better meals. So
I have
It's
an idea.
that is planned incompetence.
I have an idea. How about
I'm
Yeah?
gonna tell my mom that word.
Ah,
We were just talking about this earlier. Planned incompetence. We'll talk about it after.
nice
we're done
meeting you,
here.
Kirby.
Yeah, that was sweet. He was some
Yeah,
bigger
planned
pockets, by
incompetence.
the way.
Oh, cool. What was the idea, Mila?
I have an idea to have a one exclusive hour with you. So you're showing something as a chef you know, you cook, and in the same time you tell a story about real estate. You know, once upon a time I was working with that wholesaler. It's like this patty, you know, you're like throwing it.
Yeah, cooking with Nick.
You just want
Flipping a
exclusive
pizza.
hour.
Yeah, like, I
it's
like the
something
idea.
pizza.
Yeah, this one time, no, I like the idea. Do I get to have a drink in hand though? Because I only cook with a drink in hand.
It's up to you, of course. Yeah, you can have your bourbon. Yep.
Perfect. Done deal then. Cool. All right, guys. Have a good one. I will talk to everybody real soon. Okay.
Bye.
Happy
Bye,
weekend.
y'all.
Bye.